We are at the final question of reading comprehension drill set number 3, question 14, concerned with the second passage of this drill set. And as always, we've got a highlight tool ready to go with our sentences of the main idea already highlighted from our upfront read to start engaging the passage. And we read the question stem at this point to identify what the specific task is and mark it for clear reference. 14 reads, which one of the following best illustrates the influence of what Bloch, according to the passage, regarded as the central institution of feudalism in the last sentence of the passage? So the phrasing of this is rather clumsy, and we want to be specific in what we highlight. So we're going to highlight best illustrates the influence of the central institution of feudalism. And we know where to find that from the green highlight. And you can see you can't actually highlight over the green highlight. So we're going to just scroll on down to the end of the passage, frame it up, and we're going to then read at least a sentence above through this final sentence and come up with our own idea of what the central institution of feudalism is, and then cross-check our answer choices against that understanding. So we read from the top of the final paragraph, he, meaning Bloch, found the distinctive element in lordship, the subordinating through personal ties of loyalty of one person to another from the top of society to the bottom, from the monarch down through the ranks of vassals and vassals' own vassals, down to yeomen and serfs. Bloch showed how the centrality of the institution of lordship and the reverence it was therefore accorded shaped an era's thought, its prayer, even the conventions of love within the nobility into expressions of dependency. And when you reach the end of evaluating all the questions of the passage, you can actually change your highlight color from the main idea highlights and highlight for individual questions the relevant information, which in this case is absolutely this idea of lordship, where one subordinates through personal ties of loyalty from one person to another from the top of society to the bottom. So basically, you've got this idea that in these uh, institutions of lordship, you're seeing individuals at the top demand loyalty from folks lower than them. So we need to go to our answer choices seeking something that matches this idea of you're looking at a monarch or a king or an emperor, someone at the top of the theoretical food chain demanding loyalty or fealty from those below. So let's go through our answer choices with the highlight tool still selected, looking for an answer choice that matches that idea, or potentially finding specific reasons to eliminate and marking them as we do so. So starting with choice A, peasant customs that required the setting aside of certain communally held lands for the grazing of livestock. Well, we're not talking about things being held communally. It's all about the monarch. So choice A goes directly against what we just read, and we should be able to eliminate it for that specific reason. And it's always better if your reasons to eliminate that you're marking are relatively short. So communally held, definitely wrong. And when I've got something that specific that's incorrect, I don't even have to consider A ever again. Then choice B, ceremonies in which a vassal pledged military service to a monarch. Well, that's exactly matching this yellow highlight over here. And we could proactively select B, hopefully, if we understand that fully. Now we'll move more briskly through the remaining answer choices. Choice C, medieval documents confirming that some vassals were in fact independent of local lords. No, we don't want them to be independent. We want them to be subordinating. So we're going to eliminate choice C almost immediately. Then choice D, reports that monarchs as late as the 18th century cured scrofula by touching the afflicted. Well, we may recall the term scrofula from earlier in our main idea highlights, but it's not relevant to this specific task. And that's a common wrong answer, is that this may be something that you recall from the passage that was largely a true detail, but it's not relevant to the question being asked. So you can't just select something because it was present. You have to make sure that it's addressing the task as presented. And D certainly does not do that because the scrofula is completely irrelevant to this discussion of the institution of lordship and feudalism. So then we go to choice E, ecclesiastical documents of the Middle Ages chronicling the history of Christianity. Wow, that seems certainly outside of the construct of what we just read in that final paragraph. So again, it may be true, but it's certainly not answering the question, whereas, of course, choice B does. If you enjoyed this LSAT reading comprehension explanation video, please consider liking it or subscribing to our channel so that you'll be alerted when new explanation videos are produced by my guru. Also, check out the description below because within it, you'll find links to full prep test sets of explanations as well, and some additional links that can help you as you walk your LSAT journey. And remember that applying to law school is supposed to be hard.